Hello, welcome back to the Harmony Inspired Health Podcast. I hope you're all having a beautiful day, whatever you are doing, whether you're listening to this, walking your dogs, in the car. They're usually my favorite places to listen to podcasts, or maybe even just like chilling on your bed. Whatever you're doing, I really hope that you are having a wonderful, wonderful day. And today's episode is a special episode. I really love talking about the energy of the goddess within. And when I teach this in the Ayurveda Alchemist Academy, I know the students light up and they really use these archetypes to enhance how they're feeling about themselves and therefore being able to do a quick reroute into their higher self activation. And so I think that it is such a beautiful mythology to understand and to incorporate into your daily rituals and life. But as women, we go through and have gone through so much over the years, okay? We are a fine, fine, beautiful species and we are different to men and we have had different challenges to men. There is no secrets about that. But what if I told you that the struggles, transformations, and desires you experience as a woman, they aren't random. They are parts of an ancient divine pattern, one that women before you have navigated for thousands of years. In the Vedic tradition, goddesses aren't just distant deities to be worshipped. They are archetypes, living energies that exist within every woman. Lakshmi, Durga, Saraswati, and Kali. These are some of my favorite goddesses that I discuss in my new book, Ayurveda and the Alchemy of Her, but there are many, many more that you may resonate. And they all represent different aspects of feminine power. And when we learn to embody their wisdom, we unlock a deeper level of health, confidence, and purpose. But the problem? Most women are disconnected from their innate power. We've been told to be small, to be pleasing, to dim our fire. We feel the pressure to do everything, yet the guilt for wanting more. We resist change, even when our soul is calling for transformation. But when we reconnect with these goddess energies, something shifts. It is such a magical power. So I really am calling on you guys and inviting you guys to be really open-minded when we talk about these goddess deities. When we connect with the goddess within, we remember who we truly are. So today I'm going to show you how to embody these archetypes in your own life so that you can step into your power, embrace your transitions, and live in alignment with your higher self. So the Vedic goddess archetypes and the power that they hold in your life are represented by different deities and different goddesses, as I mentioned. And like I said, there are so much more, but I'm going to share with you the ones that I most resonate with. And number one is Lakshmi, and she is the goddess of abundance and radiance. Signs that Lakshmi's energy is weak in your life is that you might feel unworthy of success or love or joy. You struggle with money mindset or constantly feel financially unstable. Maybe you're someone who gives and gives, but you have trouble receiving, whether that is help, compliments, or abundance. And I know this to be true for a lot of women. And I have found working with thousands of women over 2 decades that embodying the Lakshmi energy can sometimes feel a bit awkward or wrong or like they're wanting too much. And it is absolutely not the case. Like, it is essential to embody the Lakshmi energy. For some women who like repelling that Lakshmi energy, they may be neglecting their beauty or their pleasure or their self-care. So imagine a woman who works tirelessly but never allows herself to enjoy the fruits of her labor. She turns down opportunities because she doesn't feel ready or worthy yet. When someone offers to treat her to lunch or a spa date, she insists on paying or not going because it's not because she wants to like decline the offer, but it's because she feels really uncomfortable with receiving. So someone who is lacking Lakshmi energy, they have a lot of trouble receiving and they feel really uncomfortable when they do. So how can we embody Lakshmi? We need to shift into abundance consciousness. So we want to focus on gratitude and not lack, and gratefulness, which is gratitude, but gratefulness for the abundance that we already have, and feel that connection of, well, if I already have this, it's already part of me, it's already me, then I am so worthy and I'm so deserving. You can also create sacred beauty rituals. Ayurveda teaches that beauty is a reflection of inner well-being. So nurture your body as a temple. And you've heard me bang on about this so many times before, but practicing like self-abhyanga massage with beautiful warm oil, listening to your favorite feminine playlist. I mean, this is one of my quickest ways to get into Lakshmi embodiment. Like I put on a beautiful, I've got quite a few of these feminine playlists, but some really beautiful goddess playlists, and I pop that on and I have beautiful essential oils mixed with my sesame oil that's warmed up. And then I just really nurture my body with this abhyanga, this practice of self-love and appreciation, and I'm really sort of connecting to the sensuality of self and music, and it's so beautiful to embody the Lakshmi energy. You also can start to honor the feminine flow of wealth. So stop forcing and start attracting. Like stop being so heavily in the masculine of, oh, I've got to make this, I've got to earn this, and just start attracting, because when we attract, we receive, right? And that's what that Lakshmi energy is about. Practice that I do like to do to embody the Lakshmi energy is to light a candle or incense while setting an intention for abundance. And I actually have a gold Lakshmi statue at the top of my stairs, and you can either go right into my bedroom or left into my office space, and she sits in the middle. And near her, I've also got my sort of ritual, what should I call it, like ritual center, where I light my incense and I have essential oils and all that. And I really love doing this practice and speaking the affirmation, like I am worthy of receiving all that I desire, and really feeling into that. Okay, so that's Lakshmi. Now, the next goddess energy that I would love for you to embody, if you feel called in any way of lack towards this energetic archetype, is Durga, the fierce protector and warrior. Now, the signs that your Durga energy is weak in your life is that you struggle with boundaries and saying no. You feel drained from people pleasing or toxic relationships. You doubt your own strength or ability to stand up for yourself. Or maybe you feel stuck in survival mode, constantly exhausted. I come across this a lot with the women that I work with who are not good at setting boundaries. Boundaries for themselves, boundaries for the people around them. And when they first start to implement the boundaries, it is really challenging. It's really hard because that's not what they're used to doing. But that is also why they're so depleted and exhausted. And they know that something needs to change. And it usually changes with setting boundaries with self and people around you. And to be able to do that, you really need to call in on this Durga energy, this strength, right? This warrior, this the ability to stand strong in who you are. So I like to give an example of someone who's lacking this Durga energy. Think of a woman who constantly says yes to extra work, yes to helping everyone, to social events that she doesn't even want to attend. She is absolutely exhausted but doesn't want to let anyone down, and deep down she actually fears that if she asserts herself, people won't like her. But being assertive in an embodied Durga manner and being confident helps you set those boundaries and respect, self-respect and respect from others. Of course, in a loving way, but it does help set that self-respect. So how can you embody the Durga energy? Stop apologizing for taking up space. You are allowed to say no without guilt and without explanation. Cultivate inner and outer strength. Move your body with power, whether it's yoga, strength training, or dance. I love like, I'm so obsessed with Pilates at the moment. I have, been doing Pilates for years and years. I'm also a Pilates instructor. I'm not teaching so much anymore, but I have been on my own journey with it lately and also incorporating a lot more strength training. And I love the physical feeling of strength, but it also gives you this deep center within yourself when you're training your core, your center. And the Samana Vayu, which is the energetic center of our body. And it also really reflects on this sort of inner radiance and strength, this tejas that we carry. And so I love using my body to create physical strength, which manifests into this internal sense of strength. So that is one way I really love to call in on Durga. And also using, I think we do as mothers, we do use our inner Durga, our inner warrior, to really fiercely protect our family and our children. But it's also about teaching them how to stand up for themselves in a respectable way as well. Use your own voice and speak with confidence, even when your voice shakes. If you can do this, you are practicing embodying the essence of Durga within, and you are building that inner strength and that inner warrior. When you feel like you're shrinking, you can channel Durga by standing tall, placing your hands on your hips, in this like sort of power pose and repeating, I am strong, I am protected, and I am fearless. And this is such a perfect mantra to repeat if you are going into any situation that's making you feel uneasy. Say you have a meeting with your boss, or you've got to go and stand in front of a big crowd and do a presentation and you're feeling like a little bit shaky. You've got to call that inner Durga. And you've got to stand there in this power pose with an open heart, an open chest, and affirm to yourself that you are strong, you are protected, and you are fearless. And watch, you will deliver the best talk or go into that meeting with the best confidence that you ever have before. Okay, the next goddess that I want to talk about, hang on a sec, I need a little sip of water. Okay, the next goddess is Saraswati, and she's the goddess of wisdom and expression. Now, Saraswati is one of my absolute favorites. Again, I've actually got two little statues of Saraswati. I have one. Oh, if you're watching on YouTube, you can actually see her right behind me. See in that corner? There is a Saraswati statue overlooking me as I do my work, and there is also one on my ritual mantle as well. Now, I love having her in the energy of my work environment because she embodies wisdom and expression. But signs your Saraswati energy is weak in your life is you struggle to trust your intuition and constantly seek external validation. You feel creatively blocked or uninspired. You second guess your voice or wisdom and struggle with imposter syndrome. Or you rarely take time for reflection, journaling, or self-inquiry. So this could look like a woman who has always wanted to write a book, but never starts because she's convinced she's not an expert yet. Now, I have just written and published my first book. It is a big deal, and I am so proud of that. And I am so, so excited to bring this wisdom to the world. And you better believe it. I called on Saraswati energy to deliver the words in my book. And I've also got a whole section on the goddesses in my book as well. And through this journey, I've spoken to so many other women who have such magical stories to share, such beautiful wisdom. And some of them I've said, like, you have to share your story. Like, you have the most wow, awe-inspiring story. And some have gone ahead and said, yeah, I'm so keen. And I know one for a fact is writing her book and she will publish it. I honestly believe that. But so many other women have said, I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted to share my story, but I don't know where to start. And, coming up with these excuses that are disguised excuses for really that sort of lack of confidence in their ability and their wisdom and their voice. These are the women that they have great ideas, but they just overthink them and they're waiting for a perfect moment. they downplay their knowledge by saying, like, I'm not sure, but before sharing their thoughts. And that's not embodying your inner Saraswati. So, how can you embody Saraswati? Well, you need to be committing to lifelong learning. Read, explore, and expand your knowledge. There is so many different ways to learn. And I am an avid learner. Like I love learning. It really sparks that fire within me. And it just, yeah, like I said, there's a difference between just learning information and embodying that information, which then becomes wisdom. So Saraswati is like, when you embody her, she helps with that pathway or that bridge from learning information and embodying that information to turn it into wisdom and an inner knowing. And then another way to embody her is to really trust that inner wisdom. Intuition is a muscle. The more you listen, the stronger it becomes. Another way to express Saraswati within is to express yourself without fear, whether through writing or speaking or creating. Let your truth be heard. And so here's a practice that you can do if you are struggling with embodying your inner Saraswati. You can start journaling and ask yourself, what truth have I been afraid to speak? What wisdom do I already hold within me, but I'm holding it? There are so many beautiful practices that you can do to call upon and activate these goddesses within you. And in my book, I've even got all of the mantras that you can use to chant to uphold the essence and energy of these goddesses. Now, the fourth goddess that I would love to share with you is Kali. She is the goddess of transformation and liberation. Signs that your Kali energy is weak in your life is that you fear change and cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves you. You suppress emotions instead of facing them. You feel stuck in old patterns, repeating the same toxic cycles. You resist endings, whether it's relationships, jobs, or habits. So if any of those things are like, oh gosh, that's me, then you need to call upon your inner Kali. So if you are a woman or you know of a woman who knows she's outgrown her job but stays because it's safe, or someone who holds onto friendships that drain them because they've been friends for years, or someone who avoids difficult conversations, stuffing their feelings down until they explode, is an example of weakened Kali energy. So how can one embody this Kali energy? Well, you can let go of what no longer serves you. So whether that's toxic relationships, beliefs, limiting core beliefs, that is, or habits, if they aren't aligned, then you need to release them. Or there is just a stuck energy where Kali can physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually not break through. So you need to release those. You also need to own your own shadow. Stop fearing your emotions, your anger or desires. They are part of your power. Step into radical authenticity. The more you shed, the freer you become. So I'm going to give you a practice to enhance the inner Kali within you. You can write something you need to let go of, whatever it is. It could be a thought that just keeps playing on repeat in your mind. It could be an unhealthy habit. It could be something that you're lacking and you know you should be doing. It could be a relationship. Write down something you know that you need to let go of. And then you're going to go and burn that paper as a symbol of release whilst you say, I surrender, I trust, and I transform. I surrender, I trust, I transform. Okay, so they were four of my favorite goddesses that I love to work with in my life every week. So, how can we navigate life transitions with goddess wisdom in every phase of womanhood? Whether it's stepping into your career, becoming a mother, shifting into perimenopause, or rediscovering yourself later in life? Well, it requires us to embody different goddess energies at different times, right? So you've got to think of these energies, these archetypes, they're all part of you. And you are just calling on the strength to embody their essence. So when you need stability and self-worth, call on Lakshmi. When you need strength and boundaries, channel in Durga's energy. When you need clarity and creative flow, embrace Saraswati. And when you need transformation and release, surrender to Kali. As I mentioned, the energies of the goddess is exactly what I teach inside my book, Ayurveda and the Alchemy of Her. Inside my book, you will learn how to align with the goddess energies for confidence, abundance, and resilience. And remember, I said I have got the mantras for each goddess in there. So as you're doing your Abhyanga, you might be chanting one of the mantras to the goddess that you're wishing to embody. You will also have an Ayurvedic framework for feminine well-being and hormonal health. You'll learn sacred rituals and practices to embody your higher self and how to navigate life transitions with ease and power. So, are you ready to reclaim your inner goddess? Yes. Yes, you are. Okay. Yes, you are. So, go and do one of the actionable tools that I gave you in this podcast. But on top of that, make sure you go and grab a copy of my book, Ayurveda and the Alchemy of Her. And please, I love to communicate with you guys. And my favorite way of communication with everyone is usually through Instagram. So I would love for you to DM me on Instagram at Harmony Inspired Ayurveda and tell me which goddess energy are you stepping into today, because that shows accountability. That shows true goddess embodiment. Share with me what goddess energy you are stepping into today, and let's have a convo about that. Because when you embody your divine essence, you don't just change your life, you change the world. Yeah, big call, but you actually do. Okay, trust me and trust yourself and the inner goddess within. Thank you so much for listening. And if this episode resonated with you, if you want to share it with more of your goddess sisterhood, please go and do that and take a screenshot, tag us on Harmony Inspired Ayurveda, and definitely go grab your copy of Ayurveda and the Alchemy of Her. I will have the link in the show notes.